My cousins laughed when I said I'd write books. At every holiday, they asked if I was still playing author. One day, I gifted them each a signed copy, right after my novel hit #1. They read the dedication out loud. It said, "For those who never believed." Growing up in our sprawling family, I was the quiet kid who never quite fit. Our house, a creaky old colonial on a street lined with maples, was always loud with cousins, aunts, and uncles spilling in for holidays, their voices overlapping like a badly tuned radio. My cousins, Ryan, Jess, Connor, and Mia, were the stars of the show. Ryan was a linebacker with a scholarship offer by junior year. Jess aced every AP class and had colleges begging for her. Connor could charm anyone with a grin, and Mia's Instagram was a shrine to her perfect life. They were loud, confident, magnetic, the kind of kids who seemed destined to win at everything. Me? I was the one in the corner, hunched over a spiral notebook, scribbling stories or reading dog-eared paperbacks while everyone else watched football or played pickup basketball in the driveway. I wasn't invisible, but I was close. Teachers forgot my name until grades were due. My parents, busy keeping up with my cousin's endless achievements, didn't notice when I stopped trying to compete. Writing was my thing, my only thing. I'd fill notebooks with half-formed novels, poems about stars, short stories about people who felt like me, lost but searching. I wasn't good at sports, couldn't carry a tune, didn't have the charm to win a room. But when I wrote, I felt alive, like I was building worlds where I wasn't just the quiet kid. Still, saying I wanted to be a writer out loud? That was a mistake. I was 16 at Thanksgiving, surrounded by the clink of forks and the smell of roasted turkey when I let it slip. "I think I want to write books," I said, my voice barely above the chatter. The table went quiet, forks pausing mid-air. Then Ryan snorted, choking on his mashed potatoes. "Like, real books? With pages?" The laughter spread like wildfire, Jess's high-pitched giggle, Connor's low chuckle, even my aunt's polite cough to cover her smile. "That's cute," Mia said, twirling her hair. "But like, what's your actual plan?" It wasn't just that moment. The jokes became a tradition. Every holiday, every barbecue, every birthday cake cut under the glow of paper lanterns, they'd bring it up. "Still playing author? Got your bestseller yet? What chapter are you on now, year 6? The words were wrapped in smiles, but they cut deep, each one a reminder that I was the family's punchline. My parents didn't laugh, but they didn't defend me either. "Writing's a nice hobby," Mom would say, her voice soft but final, like she was closing a door. Dad just shrugged. "Not everyone's meant to be a star." They didn't see the nights I spent writing until my eyes burned, the rejection emails piling up in my inbox, the drafts I scrapped because they weren't good enough. They didn't see the panic attacks in my tiny apartment, the fear that I was wasting my life, the way I'd stare at a blank screen, willing the words to come. They didn't see the isolation, friends drifting away, weekends spent alone, the world shrinking to a laptop and a flickering dream. They just saw a kid with a hobby, a dreamer who'd never amount to anything real. Update 1. The breakthrough. The path to success wasn't a straight line. My 20s were a blur of odd jobs: barista, delivery driver, freelance copywriting for pennies. I lived in a studio apartment that smelled like mildew, with a mattress on the floor and a desk made of milk crates. But I wrote. Every morning, before dawn, every lunch break, every night after my shift ended. Blogs for no one, short stories for obscure online zines, poems I never showed anyone. No money, no glory, just words piling up, slowly getting better. I took writing classes when I could afford them, sneaking into free workshops at the library, reading craft books until the pages fell apart. I studied authors I loved, dissecting their sentences like a surgeon, trying to understand what made them sing. I submitted stories to contests, magazines, anywhere that would take them. Most said no. Some didn't bother replying. But every rejection was a lesson. Every small acceptance, a publication in a tiny journal, a $10 check for a poem, felt like a lifeline. Then came the novel. I don't know why it was different. Maybe I'd finally learned enough, or maybe the story had been waiting inside me all along. It was a quiet, literary thriller about a man searching for his lost brother in a town full of secrets. It poured out of me in 6 months, raw and urgent, like it was clawing its way free. I spent another year editing, cutting entire chapters, rewriting until my fingers ached. I paid a freelance editor with money I didn't have, her notes tearing my work apart but making it stronger. I queried agents for 14 months, 108 rejections, each one a gut punch. Then, one email changed everything. An agent, Sarah, loved it. "This is special," she wrote. "Let's talk." Things moved fast after that. Too fast. Sarah sold the book to a major publisher in a bidding war I couldn't believe was real. The market was hungry for my genre, literary with a twist of suspense. Pre-orders climbed. Book influencers shared ARC reviews on social media, calling it haunting and unput-downable. A viral TikTok video from a reader pushed it further. When the book hit the New York Times bestseller list at #1, I was alone in my apartment, staring at my laptop, hands shaking so badly I couldn't type. I didn't cry, didn't celebrate. I just sat there, letting it sink in. I'd made it. I didn't tell my family. Not yet. I wanted it to be real, to hold it close before letting their voices back in. But I had a plan. I pre-ordered 10 hardcover copies of my novel, each one embossed with my name in gold. I spent an evening signing them, my pen gliding over. The title page, each signature, a quiet defiance. Update 2. The holiday surprise Christmas that year felt like stepping onto a stage I'd been rehearsing for my whole life. The family gathered at my aunt's house, the air thick with the smell of pine, cinnamon, and roasted ham. Laughter echoed from the living room, where my cousins swapped stories about their promotions, their new cars, their perfect lives. I sat, on the edge of the couch, same as always, but this time I wasn't dreading the inevitable question. I was ready. After dinner, when the gift exchange began, I pulled out a large canvas bag. "Something small," I said, handing out wrapped packages to each cousin, my parents, my aunts, and uncles. They looked puzzled. Gift-giving wasn't usually my thing. Ryan raised an eyebrow, Jess smirked, expecting another one of my cute gestures. Then they tore open the wrapping. Silence fell, heavy as snow. My novel stared back at them, the cover stark and elegant, my name in bold across the front. Inside, I'd written their names above the dedication. For those who never believed. You were the fire. I was the fuel. My aunt gasped, her hands flying to her mouth. My uncle let out an awkward laugh like he wasn't sure if it was a joke. Ryan flipped through the pages, his usual smirk gone, replaced by a tight-lipped stare. Jess read the dedication aloud, her voice faltering on the last line. Connor just held the book, turning it over like it might explain itself. Mia, always, the loudest, was quiet for once, her fingers tracing the embossed title. My parents sat frozen, Mom clutching her copy, Dad staring at the table. I didn't say anything, didn't gloat, didn't explain, just smiled and took my seat, letting the moment breathe. Ryan broke the silence, his voice strained. You actually did it, huh? Like, #1? I nodded. Yeah, it's been a good year. No one asked about my writing after that. No jokes, no jabs, just a room full of people holding proof that I wasn't playing. Final, quiet vindication. Things didn't change overnight. My cousins didn't suddenly become my cheerleaders, and my parents didn't start calling to check on my next project. Family gatherings are still loud, still full of their stories, Ryan's new condo, Jess's law firm, Mia's influencer deals. But there's a shift, subtle but undeniable. A quiet respect in the way they look at me, the way they don't ask if I'm still playing author. My life isn't a fairy tale. Writing is still hard. Every book feels like climbing a mountain, and the fear of failure never fully goes away. I still wake up some nights, heart racing, wondering if the next story will flop if I'll ever match that first success. But then I get an email from a reader, someone who says my words helped them through a dark time, or a review from a stranger who felt seen in my pages. That's what keeps me going. I keep one copy of that first novel on my shelf, its spine creased from handling. The dedication page is bookmarked, a reminder of the kid who wrote through the laughter, the doubt, the silence. I open it when the fear creeps in and it grounds me. My cousins don't talk about the books they got that Christmas. I don't know if they read them, shelved them, or tossed them in a box, and I don't care. That moment wasn't about them. It was about me proving to myself that I was enough. The one they laughed at? He wrote anyway, and that's the story I'll keep telling.